All right, let's face it. In high school, we all had that one English teacher. Well, that English teacher is me. I'm Brian Kulak, a career educator and author of The Hot Seat. Every week, I reconnect with former students, colleagues, and fascinating people to explore who they were, who they are now, and the wisdom they've gained along the way. Welcome to The Hot Seat. We do have two guests, and I want to make sure they both get equal time in their virtual hot seat. So I'll just welcome them both as they get here. So, oh, there they are. Perfect timing. What's up, guys?
Hey,
How are you?
How are you?
I'm great because you guys are here. This is really exciting and fun to see you guys both. I mentioned in the preamble that you guys are one of, I want to say 3 or 4 existing class high school sweethearts that I taught. So it's so nice to see you guys together. Thanks for hopping on. I do want to get to all the hot seat stuff with you guys. These guys have offered to do separate hot seats, and I can ask them whatever I want. So that's your doom that you have foretold. I will not hold back. So whatever number you get is the question that you get. But before, every time we start the show, I like to ask who you were when you were with me and who you are now. So Jewel, why don't you start?
Oh, great. Who I was when I was with you.
Yeah.
I was Julie Welde, a junior, I think.
Senior.
Senior.
Yeah.
Okay, senior. I don't know how to describe myself back then. I played tennis.
There you go.
I sang songs in the choir. I played clarinet.
You're in the plays.
I was in the plays. I don't know. As a high schooler, as a senior.
What year was it?
It was 2008 to 2009.
Okay, 9. That's what I thought. You guys graduated 9,
Yeah,
right?
that's a hard thing right there to even describe myself as a senior. I don't know.
It is, because it's been a while since you were one. Your life has changed so
No.
dramatically since then. And I remember that your class so well for so many reasons. Obviously, Garrett was in your class,
Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
Garrett and I are still tight. He'll be coming to the Dave concert with us on our caravan at the end of
Nice.
July.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and Jewel, you teach now, right?
Yeah, so I was just about to say, I knew back then I wanted to be a teacher. Like that was my trajectory of my life. And I was, kind of into this guy, I guess. Yeah, so I wanted to be a teacher, and it wasn't until high school until I really narrowed down what I wanted to teach. But after having Mr. Marino, I fell in love with chemistry.
Yeah.
And so I taught now who I am now. I'm a teacher, but I teach a little differently. I taught in public school in Mount Holly for 9 years in the classroom, and then the pandemic hit, had a second kid, stopped teaching for a while. We traveled with our 2 kids, and I just recently got back into online teaching. So
Okay.
I'm teaching students who are in a school of science, but I'm at home.
So are they at-risk students, or why are they online?
It's because of the teacher shortage. They can't
Wow.
find a certified teacher to come in these schools.
Yeah.
This one just happens to be in North Jersey because I'm certified in New Jersey, so I can only teach in New Jersey technically. Yeah, these students are in a school. They have someone in the room with them, but who is not certified to teach that subject. So
Wow.
I come in on the screen and we do the thing.
So was the RV you were at for a while
Yes.
then, right? Yeah,
Yep,
right.
right.
Okay. And before I get to Mickey, I just I'm so glad that you brought up Sebastian Marino, because I think one thing that keeps happening on these shows is we talk about so many other teachers, and certainly that's what I want. I mean, this is not about talking about our time together specifically, but I mean, what an amazing teacher he is. I looked up to him, and he was a peer. I mean, his relationship with the kids was so similar to mine. His style was similar, I think, with the sarcasm and just really getting to know you guys. And his content was way harder than mine, and he still got the best out of you. So, Joel, I'm glad. I hope someone shares this with him, because I was just saying to somebody today, when you have these relationships with people and you don't tell them about it, it's such a wasted opportunity. So, know how much I care about you guys and how much you've meant to me. Mick, we'll get to our coffee chat in a little bit and how much that meant to me when we had it a few years ago. But, he's a guy who I think changed a lot of people's lives. And for him to hear you say that it was him that caused you to pursue teaching science, I know that would make his day. So hopefully he knows how you feel about him, because He's amazing. I heard a whiff of a rumor that he was retiring, but I don't know if that's true. So
Really?
hopefully,
Wow.
I'm not sure. I was at a retirement party this week, and his name came up, and no one could confirm or deny. So obviously, I hope either he is because he wants to, or he didn't yet because so many people still need him.
Yeah.
I feel that so much because like I tuned in last week to Miss McGilloway and
Yeah.
niece.
Yeah.
I had both of them at some point in my life, and they're like legends in
Yep.
my mind.
Yep.
And then Marino is up on that list too, and that's what's so cool I think about Audubon, the public school district, is like, for the most part, we all had these teachers together. We went through life from kindergarten. Julie and I were in the same preschool class.
That is insane.
We were in,
We don't remember each other, but like we're in the same picture.
That is. Wait till your kids see that. That's gonna be so cool for your kids.
Literally.
I know.
So cool. Yeah.
yeah. And
It's really funny.
and so there's something to like slowing down or maybe just maturing in life and getting to a point where you realize and you look back and you actually reach out and reconnect with these teachers because life just like day after day, week after week, year after year, it can kind of if you don't seize that opportunity, then those people won't know exactly how you feel.
Yeah. I mean, the lifeblood for us as teachers is that kind of comment, right? Like, no one gets into teaching for money or fame. That's like the old joke, right? But
Yeah.
social media has given me this platform to revisit Hot Seat and see you guys, on the screen and talk about these things. When I created it, there's no way I would have thought any of this was going to be possible. And I cherish, we talked about things that we cherished last week with Lisa and Beth. And I cherish this. Even if the three of us were in a coffee shop or a bar somewhere, and no one knew what we were talking about, it would still mean the same to me. And Joel, you contributed to the book, which we'll get to in a little bit. So thank you for that. Mick, we had such a strong relationship when we were together for a couple different reasons, right? We had the basketball bond, and then you won the Wegline scholarship, which obviously was super important to me and our friend group and our foundation. But let's give you the chance to do the same thing. So who were you back then, and who are you now?
Now that you've had time to think about it.
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
I've tuned in to most.
Yeah, he's done more research. I think I'm prepared one here.
I didn't even mention it to her that you were going to do that. Just to see how.
But Julie, you
wanted to
said you
go
have to be
into it,
prepared.
like-
You're the teacher. You have to be prepared with everything.
I know,
So
but
shocked, you do
it's
some
the hot
research.
seat, right? So you're not really prepared.
Oh, that's
for
true.
anything. So I was like, I'm gonna roll in and see where it takes us.
That's really funny. Yeah.
So yeah, back in high school, if you look in the yearbook, I was voted most well-rounded. So I think I was a pretty well-rounded individual. Played sports. I was in the band and choir.
Yep.
Pretty decent student, honors classes, and reflecting on things I've been telling Julie, I realized that senior year I actually dropped 2 AP classes, which ended up being like the best decision.
Probably. Yeah.
One of them was AP English.
Uh-huh.
And then after like a week or week and a half, I dropped and I got placed in your class.
I don't remember that at all. That's so funny.
Julie was in that class. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because I loved English. And I think it was Mr. Rowan.
Yeah,
who
yeah.
I had him
It
as
was like new. I think it was a new class.
I had him
Yeah.
a homeroom teacher too. So like I knew him and was looking forward to it, but just at the time. But then, I was in your class to do the hot seat. And then also history class, like a brand new history class.
It's like an AP sociology or something like that.
I don't know.
With who?
Webb.
Mr. Webb.
Oh yeah, Mr. Webb. Yeah.
Again, like the guy,
Yeah.
I grew up down the street from him, like someone else who I knew and like wanted to be in that class, ended up dropping it, and I got put in IR with Miss Cantonese. So I was like,
That's insane.
it ended up being great because I really like love those 2 classes.
Yeah.
Here. But yeah, so since then, Julie and I, we've stayed together. Stayed together through college and have built our life together as a married couple. And I worked in Philadelphia for 8.5 years, doing video production.
Yep.
So senior year, I was in your journalism class.
Yep.
And then went to school to try to be Rick Riley and write like. But then I was like, well, actually, media, video production, film is all like really interesting. So I was glad I went over to do that stuff. And even to this day, I still do like video production work and work for a company running their social media accounts, doing video production for them.
Yeah. So, did you know that you want to do that? Were you in the same like school as Julie, where it's like I want to do this thing? Nah. Yeah, it came to you
I,
later.
I wanted and still want to be, which I just brought this up to
You
Julie.
do
And
this
she
all
said,
the time, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like that's just random.
well, I mean, one of the things is a writer. I think that's why.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be an actor. I always like loved.
I think you'd be a good actor. Yeah,
Oh, he'd be a great actor. But
yeah, he would
my
be.
child does not support that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
It's okay.
So, Mick, I got to tell you this story. I'm not sure. I don't know if I ever told you this. I may have, but it's perfect for this. Like, before you got to me, I had heard so much about you, right? And all of it was universally great. And I remember saying to somebody, it might have been Marino or Clements or something, like, yeah, what this kid Weldy's, there's no way this kid is as good as everyone says he is. Like, I'm just not buying it. There's no way a high school kid can be this universally liked and beloved and respected, well-rounded. I'll figure it out. And I was wrong. You were like literally the greatest kid. I think a lot of kids.
Yeah, you won Mr. Audubon. You won
I mean,
Pumpkin King. Like
all the things, Joel. Seriously, look how
all the
lucky you are.
things.
You get to sit next to him on that couch. You're such a
I
lucky
know,
lady.
it's crazy. But after high school, I mean, he turned into a different person when he went to college. Like
Most people do.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
100%. But it was like a total change. But he.
But it's just, I just always like telling people, because I told my girlfriend Dana, who's the producer behind the screen here, I was telling her that I don't miss often with character assignments. I really don't. The one I really missed badly was Eric Brown, who's older than you guys, but he's really close with me now. He's part of our Dave Matthews crew. But the first time I saw him coming down the steps to the locker room after football practice, you know, he had frosted tips, and I'm like, oh, this guy's not for me, man. And I was so immature as a teacher back then. And then I got him in class, and he's just a wonderful human being. And I'm so thankful that we're such good friends now. So he was one, and you were two. And after that, I was like, look, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing. So you turned out to be even better than I thought. And I got to be with you twice a day for that whole year because of the newspaper. So that's my Mickey story. Jewel, I want to throw it back to you for a second, because you had that class reunion passage that you said you struggled with, right? That it was an odd question for you to answer, that you thought you were going to hurt one parent's feelings, right? Yeah. So just talk more about that passage in the book.
Yeah. I mean, I've always struggled with, I'm a daddy's girl, so like I really connect with my dad.
Yep.
But I'm a lot like my mom too. But I just, as adults now, I connect way more with my dad. So even as a high schooler, I struggled with that. Like I love them both, but who do you connect more with? Or it was like who means more to you? I mean, that's a hard.
That was the question. Who means more to you? Yeah.
Like my mom gave birth to me, but I connect as a human more with my dad. So I don't even remember what I said. I think I chose my dad. I'm not really sure. But
I think you said you felt bad.
I did.
In the moment, you felt bad,
right.
and I think you said you changed your mind in the hot seat because you felt bad.
Yeah, I do remember being very conflicted.
Yeah,
I mean they're hard questions for a reason, but as a mom, I mean it's a totally different perspective too,
right.
Wow, moms do so much for their kids and get very little appreciation. So it's, I mean, dads do too, but you go through the whole pregnancy, birth, all that, that's a lot more than.
Yeah, it is. So, and that question's super unfair, right? So when I was on the podcast today, the two hosts wanted me to kind of throw a couple of questions there. I'm like, all right, well, here's one to one of the co-hosts named Jess, and it was your question. And I said, who means more to your mom or dad? And she's like, I can't. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
She couldn't answer. But here you are, little old Julie at 17 years old, forced to sit in front of your class and answer that question. But you did it so well. And then you reflected on it, recalled it, and then you submitted it to me to be in the book. So the journey from how hard that must have been as a senior in high school to reflecting on it and going back into it and then becoming a mom, sitting next to the husband that was in the class with you while you answered it. It's an unfair question for sure. So I appreciate the answer so honestly. Mick, for you, I just want to quickly go to that coffee talk we had years ago. I mean, you hit me up. I don't remember even how. Probably you got my number from Garrett or something, and you wanted to talk writing. Dude, we must have been there for two hours. We just talked and talked and talked. And that again, that's the good stuff, right? Whether that happened because of the hot seat or not. I just wanted to kind of publicly talk to you about how that meant to me, right? So how much that meant to me, because I often don't know like what happens with you guys unless there's a conscious decision to stay connected, which is my goal with so many of you. Like just trying to figure out either are they okay? Is there anything I can do to help them? Do they need me in any way, professionally or personally? And that day we talked about a lot of things, and writing was one of them. So tell me a little bit about like, have you continued to dabble with writing? Are you thinking about, do you have, because at that time you had a really strong topic in mind, I remember. Did you pursue that at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that although it's been like 5 years, 4.5.
Was it 5 years? Yeah.
Yeah, so our oldest daughter, who's 6 now, was born.
Okay.
And I think she was still pretty young. So I feel like it was like 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, even though it's been that long and I wrote out, however many pages and pretty much wrote in, chapters and chapters of a book and never did anything with it and haven't touched it in over 4 years, I think about it every single day of my life.
Yeah.
So although I'm not like actively writing or podcasting or doing video content, which I love all 3 of those things.
Yeah.
They are constantly a part of my psyche every day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are things that I am looking to definitely, discipline myself to get back into. And the best part is like once you start it, you remember how much you enjoy it and how much you get out of it. So, nothing happened with what we talked about that day, which but that I still have all of that work and I'm going to do something with it someday for sure.
Well, remember, I started writing The Hot Seat in 1999, and this is 2025. So sometimes it takes longer than you want it to. I pitched it in 2014, and the first publisher I wrote back in minutes, just like by happenstance, and he's like, yeah, I'll take a look at it. And then it was crickets. So it was on the shelf for a while. And then after I got Level Up published in 2019, I dusted it back off again and just did some more work with it and improved it. Now that I was published, I had a better idea about what my publisher wanted and so forth. So my point to you is it doesn't really matter how long it's on the shelf as long as it makes its way back off the shelf at some point. So right now with 3 little ones, I think it's probably not the time to devote to that.
Well, let me say this too. I mean, like, I know the content of what I wrote, and the truth is like none of what I wrote is finished because I'm still living it out. I'm still learning the things that I need to learn, and I'm still having the life experiences that are going to eventually, be in there and help drive home the lessons and the decisions that I find to be most, valuable in life.
Well, consider yourself having a personal consultant, editor, whatever you need. I would love to read it when you're ready. That's another full circle thing, right? For me to read your work, not for a grade on, Hamlet or whatever we were learning back then. All right.
Speaking of Hamlet.
Yeah.
9th grade English.
Yeah.
Julie and I started dating, was it May 28th?
Oh my God, good memory.
Whatever. 2006.
2006. And
he got halfway there.
Yeah.
And we had a teacher that was at Audubon for not that long. And so Julie and I were Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
And we had like a kissing scene in this video that we made in that class.
Yeah.
And like that almost like started our relationship.
Literally.
So Shakespeare started your relationship in 9th grade.
Yeah, it was filmed. They played it at our wedding too.
Oh, that's amazing.
The most ridiculous thing.
Who was the teacher?
It was Miss Book.
Book. Do you remember her? She was
I don't.
She was.
I think she was only there for a little while. We had a few individuals in our class that may have chased her out.
Contributed to her demise.
Yeah. She didn't last long.
Yeah, that 09, as much as I love you guys, that 09 crew had some characters.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure.
Mainly his best friend.
Joel, who was your best friend back then? I don't remember.
Janina.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Still is.
All right. So did you guys flip a coin on this? Who wants to go first?
Oh, he's going first. I went first already.
Okay, that's fair. All right, Mick, give me your question, your number.
I'll do 111. I think it's over 140.
Okay.
It was over 140.
Are these the same questions? They haven't changed?
Good question. So a lot of the questions, there was a much longer list originally, Jewel. And if you remember, was Mr. Ross your principal?
Yeah.
Okay. So at one point, he decided he wanted to get his mitts on it, and he made me take some out.
Okay.
So I did. And then when I gave the first draft to Sarah, my publisher, she made me take some stuff out. In fact, Mickey, you know a guy named John Dyer pretty well, I believe. And
Yeah,
John had a chapter devoted to him, but Sarah balked at the content. We can talk about that offline. It was a great chapter. I loved it, and he loved it, and it was hysterical, but Sarah said no. So anyway, so the questions have morphed over time, Joel.
Come on.
I do want to tell you that story offline because I don't want to throw John under the bus.
I'll call you right after this.
Yeah, I'll just call you. All right, so this is a really great one for you, Mick, and it is legitimately 111. And the question is, why? You can't make noise off camera, Dane. She's not laughing at you. I think she's laughing at the absurdity of the question.
Okay.
I love this question. You can skip it because I love you. I'll give you a different one, but that's 111.
Why? Okay. I'm glad I didn't pick that one.
Well, you're doing what I taught you. So right now, everyone, Mickey's doing the pregnant pause. He's not umming and ahhing. He's not answering too quickly. He's taking his time. This is exactly what I taught you, so you're making me look good. Thank you. But you have veto power.
I'm going to veto it.
Okay. But I'm going to make you answer that over beer someday because I would love to hear somebody like you with your philosophical approach to things. I'd like to hear your answer. So the next one is.
I think that's probably best. Why there's too much to go into. So the next one.
So this is much more specific.
Okay.
Do you judge others by higher or lower standards than you judge yourself?
That's a great one.
Great question. I actually talked about this with somebody earlier this morning.
Really?
And yeah, something similar. It was about comparison.
Okay.
And I'll start by saying that I often view myself as not reaching the standards that I have for myself.
100%. Same.
So I'm really hard on myself.
Same. Yep.
But I counteract that by, I don't seek out to judge people ever, but
of course,
I'll make myself feel better about the ways that I'm not living or doing what I want to do with my life by looking for examples and maybe judging somebody else and seeing them as, well, I'm doing better than them.
Right.
So,
right.
And
yeah.
that's and again, yeah, that's like not a specific thing to any person.
Right.
But just in general, when I think about my parenting, it's like, well, I'm not where I want to be or really close, but I'm here every single day with my children, giving them, the best that I can.
The best you have, exactly.
And certainly there are many situations where that's not the case for children growing up. So that's just one example.
It's a great example. Yeah.
And I think because of that thing that I do, I would answer that I may judge other people lower than. Yeah,
I mean, it's a tricky question because it tends to lean towards like egotistical, but that really wasn't the intention when I wrote it. I just didn't know how much people thought of themselves. And it was a question that I still think about all the time. I have wicked imposter syndrome, especially if I'm in a room of, let's say, really good athletes. Like for Mick, for you, like being around like Chris Harris and Coach Rand and guys who I don't belong here, man. These guys are way above me. Or if I'm in a room full of educators that I really respect, I'm like, oh man, eventually these guys are going to realize I'm just a fraud. It's just a weird thing. So I think you're right to your point. It makes me kind of want to work harder to offset that in my brain, whether it's true or not. But I can confirm, at least from a distance, that like you guys have to be amazing parents. I would, and, just knowing who you are, your kids are lucky. You come from amazing families. But parenting is the hardest thing to do in the world, and so to hear you say that like you're not where you want to be yet, if you get there, please text me. I want to know where where is that way station so I can join you, because I'm figuring it out. 15 and 12, and I'm doing my best to figure it out. Yeah. So that was a great answer. Thank you, especially because why was so hard. All right, Jewel, what's your number, girl?
72.
All right, literally 72 was asked last week. That was the betrayal question. So give me another one.
Okay. 19.
All right, 19. Is there a difference between accepting and settling? God, you make me so proud. I love the pregnant pause.
So
I love it.
I'm such
At least it
an
made me
emotional person.
think slowly. Don't start talking till you're ready.
I do remember that. You remember like saying,
Yeah.
you need to think about what I'm asking you.
No reason to talk until you're ready. Yep.
I think there's a difference between accepting
Okay.
and
Tell me.
accepting. I think of, when something bad happens or something unexpected happens in your life and you're like, okay, I just have to accept that this is what it is. I have no control over this thing, and I'm accepting that it is what it is, and I'm going to do whatever I can, with it, or the best that I can. And then I think settling is something like I'm trying for this certain level, I'm trying for this standard, or I'm trying to make something happen and it's not happening. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to, settle for what I do have and go with that.
I think what I'm hearing, that's really a good way to put it. I've not thought of it that way. It is. I think that what I'm hearing you say that I don't think I've ever heard before with this question is accepting is that which is out of our control, and settling is within our control. You have to choose to settle. Like if you settle for your partner, you settle for your job, you settle for your salary, your home, you're choosing to do that. But the accepting thing, I never thought of it that way, that sometimes things just happen to us that you have to be like, all right, well, I'm getting much better at this, Jewel. Like there are just things I can't control and I have to stop worrying about them. It's hard, but otherwise you'll send yourself nuts. But I think I'd not thought about it as a conscious decision in terms of settling. So even here we go, right? So 20 whatever years later, and now that question just has a totally new meaning because of your answer. So that was great. I'm not at all surprised that you guys crushed this performance. I'm so glad that you guys, really, I'm so glad that you did it. I'm glad you did it together. I think it's cool to have you both on here.
Yeah, thank you for asking us.
Yeah.
I've been loving the book, and congratulations
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Getting it out there into the world. It's like bringing up so many different feelings and memories, and honestly, it's making me like reconnect with a part of my life that I maybe haven't spent the time to connect with and take a closer look at, and how that's shaped me. Thanks for asking us, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the other thing that keeps coming up, Mick, is like I had somebody DM me and say, I did all the questions again as a 40-year-old, and I thought about how much my answers have changed, right? So like when I wrote them, I meant them for 17-year-olds, right? But now that's a completely gone phase of your life that you either look back on fondly or with regret or whatever. But the questions resonate no matter what. So like I could ask you the same questions you got when you were 17 in that chair, and the answers probably should be a lot different by now because of, like you had mentioned, your life experiences. Being parents is the greatest thing in the world. You have that times 3. So I appreciate the kind words. I mean, I think again, I said to anybody who will listen, I said again on the podcast today, like this is all about you guys. You had to accept that this activity was happening whether you liked it or not, and you had to choose to be vulnerable and answer questions with honesty and humility. And I think, Mick, you stumbled on something earlier too that keeps coming up, which is I think it had to happen in Audubon. I don't know if I could do this in Collinswood, right, or Haddon Township where I live. Like it had to happen at that time with kids like you and teachers like that in the building. because it was a risky proposition, but it turned out to be one of the greatest things that I've ever experienced, just being with you guys and having you answer those questions that were so challenging. So thanks to you for all that, but also for hopping on today. And again, congratulations with your family. You guys seem so happy, and I love to see the pictures of you and the little ones. And I'll text you about John's question and answer.
I can't wait. Can I give you 2 quick shout outs?
Please go ahead.
We have a couple minutes. So
yeah,
I've been diving into the book, loving the book. 2 specific passages that like really stood out. I've been answering one question. So at the end of each chapter, you list out the questions that were specific to that topic. And when I'm done, I'll pick out one of the questions and I'll just spend time answering it to myself. And it's like everything you just said. I mean, it's a lot different now than it would have been when I answered it when I was 17. But just huge props to you for making something that like allowed all of us to be vulnerable and open up. And when you talked about the inception, I'm just going to read this line from your book because it really stood out. You said, ultimately, most of the questions were based on what I wished someone would have asked me as a teenager. And those are like the teachers that you see on TV shows. Those are the teachers that you see in, Dead Poet Society, where there's this love for connection and helping these young people like look at themselves and look at the world differently and start to grow into like who they're going to become. And then the other sentence that I wanted to say real quick was, it might have been in the legacy chapter. He said, I never wanted kids to concoct some hot seat alter ego for my benefit. And although I don't like remember my hot seat scenario when I sat in that seat, I do feel like that's so true. Like there were sometimes answers that were just so like, they were genuine to the person and didn't really have much, weight to it.
Yeah.
But that was okay. It's like the purpose wasn't for people to be like philosophers.
Right.
It was just to answer the question. And I love again that we had that opportunity to do that. Yeah.
That's thank you for reading them both word for word. That means a lot to me. I'm struggling to keep it together over here. So thanks for you're the first one to get to me. So thank you for that. And
you have that effect.
I'm gonna delete this whole thing as soon as it's over because this is embarrassing.
We'll just do it next week too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So next week, I don't think it's gonna be tough. Next week is Megan, who's also in the book, but that's a lot, Nick. That's a lot for me to think about. So thank you for saying it out loud and for kind of reversing the hot seat on me there, because that was thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And thank you both for being the people you are, for agreeing to do this. I do. I value this stuff more than anybody knows. I mean, if my career ended tomorrow, I keep using the word fortunate, and I'm fortunate because of people like you. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep loving on your kids. And I'm always here if you need anything on the backside.
Well,
awesome. Appreciate that. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.
Talk to you soon.
All right. See y'all. All right, hot seaters. Thanks for tuning in. Before you go, here's how to stay connected. Follow me on Instagram at Brian_Kulak. Check out more resources on my blog over at briankulak.net. Pick up a copy of The Hot Seat or my other book, Level Up Leadership, both available now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And please, if you found value in today's conversation, leave us a rating and a review. It truly helps others discover these stories. Share this episode with someone in your life, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another conversation in The Hot Seat.